I didn't expect her to wait until dessert. The roast was already cold by the time she reached for the folder beside her plate. It was navy blue, the kind you get from an attorney's office. Thick, matte, official in a way that makes conversation feel smaller. My mother didn't clear her throat. She just placed her hand flat on it. Fingers spread, wedding ring catching the chandelier light. "You won't get a single cent." The words were almost gentle, administrative, as if she were informing me of a change in mailing address. My brother kept chewing. My aunt stared at her napkin. I felt the old reflex, the one that had trained me to correct myself before I even knew what I'd done wrong. But I also felt something else this time. Something steadier. "All right," I said. I surprised myself with the calm in my voice. "Then don't expect a single cent from me either." It wasn't loud. It wasn't dramatic. I smiled even. Not sweetly, just politely. The way you do when someone confirms a reservation. I set my fork and knife down. The porcelain made a small, clean sound. Then I stood up. No one tried to stop me. I had been the dependable one. The one who handled paperwork, who reviewed insurance policies, who drove her to specialist appointments when she said the traffic made her anxious. I paid for things she said she'd settle later. I never kept receipts. I told myself it was love. It might have been. But it was also leverage, and she knew it. Her threat that night wasn't about money. It was about obedience. I had refused to move back into the house when she suggested it with that careful tone that means it's not a suggestion at all. I had declined to reconsider a job offer closer to home. I had chosen a life that didn't orbit her. So she revised the will. Weeks passed. Silence, at first, felt like punishment. Then it felt like oxygen. I redirected the money I used to float her emergencies into my own savings account. I met with a financial planner. I updated my own beneficiaries. I slept better. There were moments I picked up my phone to call her. Moments I almost apologized for. What exactly, I'm not sure. Independence? Distance? Not needing permission? I didn't call. Then one Thursday afternoon, my brother's name lit up my screen. "She fell," he said. No preamble. "They think it's her heart." The hospital was cold in that aggressively sanitized way. Machines hummed. Nurses moved with brisk kindness. I stood at the foot of her bed. She looked smaller than I remembered. Not fragile, just reduced. Like someone had turned down her volume. A doctor approached me. "Are you the healthcare proxy?" The question landed somewhere between hope and routine. I hesitated. I had been. For years. "I'm not sure," I said. He checked the chart. "It lists a different name." "A cousin?" "We've been trying to reach him." My mother's eyes were open, watching. The moment was so clear it felt staged, but it wasn't. There were fluorescent lights. A monitor beeping slightly too fast. A nurse adjusting a drip. Authority didn't shout. It simply pointed to paperwork. "You'll need consent for the procedure?" I asked. "Yes," the doctor said. From the designated decision-maker, I looked at her. She had revised more than the will. The cousin didn't answer his phone. Hours passed. My brother paced. The staff repeated protocols with professional patience. I could have offered to help navigate it, to push, to call lawyers. I knew exactly which attorney she used. I had once sat in that office beside her while she praised me for being so responsible. But I stood still, not out of revenge, out of recognition. She had drawn the boundary first, in ink. Eventually, the cousin was reached. Consent was given. The procedure moved forward. She survived. Recovery was slower than she liked. Pride makes a poor companion to weakness. 2 weeks later, I visited her at the rehabilitation center. The room smelled faintly of antiseptic and carnations. She sat upright, cardigan folded precisely over her shoulders, as if posture alone could restore authority. "You came," she said. "Yes." A pause. "I may need some help for a while," she added. "Things are different now." Her eyes flicked toward me, measuring. "I imagine they are." She folded her hands in her lap. "I've been thinking about the estate planning. Perhaps some adjustments are in order." There it was. Not an apology, an incentive. I sat in the vinyl chair across from her. The old tug, the urge to repair, to smooth, to earn, stirred and then settled. "I'm not interested in adjustments," I said. Her expression tightened. "You'd walk away over a misunderstanding?" It wasn't a misunderstanding. Silence filled the room, thicker than before. "I meant what I said," I continued. "If I'm not an heir, I'm not a provider. I can visit, I can talk, but I'm not your contingency plan." She studied me like a problem she hadn't anticipated. "You'd really let it stay this way?" "Yes." The word felt less like defiance and more like alignment. For the first time, I wasn't negotiating for approval. I wasn't bracing for withdrawal. I was just steady. She looked away first. There was no reconciliation montage, no tearful confession. The will, as far as I know, remains unchanged. I still visit sometimes. We speak about neutral things: the weather, her physical therapy, a neighbor's new fence. The conversations are careful but civil. The difference is quiet but undeniable. When she hints at finances, I redirect. When she suggests I consider moving closer, I smile and say my life is here. There's no anger left in it. Just clarity. Last month I signed paperwork finalizing the purchase of my own home. The pen felt heavier than it should have, like it understood the history beneath it. I listed my beneficiaries without hesitation. Not because I expect gratitude, not because I plan to withhold, but because my future is no longer a bargaining chip. I didn't win anything. I just stopped offering myself as collateral.